Dear students, let's continue our talk about grammar. Open your books at page 57, exercise 8. The modal verbs can, could, may, might, should, ought. Let's remember the rules. We use can to express ability in the present, ask for permission, give permission, make a request, make a suggestion, offer something. We use could to ask for permission or make a request when we want to be more polite. You are to remember we use can only in present and past tenses. We use be able to with all other tenses. For example, he has never been able to ride a bike. We use might when it's polite that something will happen. We use may to express possibility, to ask for or give permission. We use should, shouldn't, ought to, oughtn't to, plus infinitive to give advice. Now let's listen to the examples. Can. You are allowed to do something.
You can go to your friend's house after you've finished your homework.
May. It's okay for me, us, to.
May we use our dictionaries, sir?
No, you may not.
Can. Is it okay for me, us, to?
Can I borrow your CD, please?
Sure.
Would you like me?
Can I help you do the washing up?
Could. Is it possible that?
Could I be excused for a minute?
Of course.
May, might. It is possible.
Where's Linda?
She may still be at the library.
Where's Linda?
She might still be at the library.
You ought to, should. I advise you to.
You should keep your back straight while doing this exercise. You ought to keep your back straight while doing this exercise.
In exercise 8, you are to read the examples. Say them in your language. You can go now. You are allowed to. Permission. You can't leave the room. You aren't allowed to. Can or may I have some more tea? It is okay for me to. Asking for permission. Can I help you with the dishes? Would you like me? Offer. Could I have some milk? Is it possible that? Asking for permission. He may, might come. It is possible. Possibility. You should, ought to be careful what you eat. It's my advice. In exercise 9, you are to write the sentences using appropriate modal verbs. Let's check. You aren't allowed to swim after you have eaten lunch. You can't swim after you have eaten lunch. Don't eat too much junk food. It's my advice. You shouldn't eat too much junk food. Would you like me to bring you some hot tea? Can I bring you some hot tea? Is it okay for me to go home early? I don't feel well. Can I go home early? I don't feel well. It's possible we will order takeaway later. We might order takeaway later. Exercise 10. Countable and uncountable nouns and quantifiers. Look at the table and let's remember, countable nouns are nouns we can count. An apple, 2 apples. How many apples do you eat? We may use too many, more than I need. A lot of, lots of. Some, a few. Not many, very few, none. Uncountable nouns are nouns we cannot count. Some rice, for example. How much milk do you drink? Too much, more than I need. A lot of, lots of. Some, a little. not much, very little, none. We use any in the negative and interrogative. For example, is there any milk? We use some in the interrogative with a fuss. Would you like some pizza? More is used with both countable and uncountable nouns. There is more cheese in the fridge if you want. Less is used only with uncountable nouns. He eats less takeaway food now because he wants to lose weight. Now let's listen to the examples.
How many strawberries are there in the bowl?
There are too many strawberries in the bowl. There are a lot of strawberries in the bowl. There are lots of strawberries in the bowl. There are some strawberries in the bowl. There are a few strawberries in the bowl. There are not many strawberries in the bowl. There are very few strawberries in the bowl. There aren't any strawberries in the bowl. There are none.
How much honey is there in the jar?
There is too much honey in the jar. There is a lot of honey in the jar. There is lots of honey in the jar. There is some honey in the jar. There is a little honey in the jar. There is not much honey in the jar. There is very little honey in the jar. There isn't any honey in the jar. There is none.
In exercise 11, you are to fill in articles a, an, or some. Let's check. An egg, some rice, some cheese, a biscuit. Let's mark the nouns as countable or uncountable. An egg, it's countable. Some rice, uncountable. Some cheese, uncountable. A biscuit, countable. In exercise 12, you have to choose the correct item. For example, could you buy me a few eggs? You have to finish this exercise yourselves.